Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Beyond the Score podcast presented by The Northerner. I'm one of your co-hosts, Matthew Supinger, back once again after this long drought with my other co-host, Alex Perez. Alex, how are we doing?
Doing great. We are so back.
We are indeed. That's what they would be. That's what they'd say probably. We are back, both truthfully and, in terms of our vibe, we're back.
That's right.
Colton, you still there?
I am still here.
Nice.
Who would have thought? I mean, I didn't know if I'd ever be back, but here I am, here.
The whole gang's back together. You can kind of tell people that you like. There's like a bat signal, and you like flip the light on, but it's like I don't know what it would be, our logo or something, and then it like shines up in the sky, and then it regroups us.
Just as post-game presser.
Yeah. How would you abbreviate that though?
I think you would just spell it out.
Cool.
Like journalists do.
Okay. That'd be a really long sign though, but you do you. We're back with, just some of the greatest sports content. Trying to keep it somewhat recent, even though it's been a little bit, been about a month now. Mm-hmm. Gee whiz. Talking some NKU sports, talking, basketball mainly. That's what's going on. College football playoffs. Last time we left you guys, we were, I was wrongfully saying that Colorado was playing Miami in a bowl game. Did not happen. But there's been some good college football games that have been going on in the playoffs.
That's actually why we took a break. We had to educate Matt.
Yeah, I was really embarrassed, and they just got me out of my shell, my hermit shell. Talking some NFL playoffs, not NBA. NFL playoffs. Sadly, the Bengals did not make it. I think the Steelers did, though, right?
They certainly were there.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that when we get there, though.
Mm-hmm.
I know you got a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
I can't wait.
Talking some NBA, even though I believe both of our teams are still really bad.
Mine's decent.
Okay. Well, ours suck. Yeah, Mine sucks.
I can't really relate to that sentiment.
Okay. Guy plays in the Eastern Conference. Get the hell out of here.
We'll talk about it later, but the Pacers aren't that high. Anyways.
Talking some college ball after that, and then everyone's favorite segment. We got to brush the dust off a little bit. The post-game presser. Everyone loves it. That's what all of our comments have been lately. Like the reason we came back, we were initially just going to shut it down, do like a little bit of like a soft ending, but we brought it back because all the comments on our socials were like, we want to see post-game presser. So
we actually even forgot the name of the segment, but our director Colton came through and reminded us exactly what it was.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah. And what is it again? Sorry, I'm blanking out.
It's the post-game presser.
There we go. Cool. I like your shirt too, by the way.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You guys think we'll go back this year?
We might be. We could be. After beating Nebraska by 40, I think so.
Powerhouse Nebraska.
Yeah, well known.
Hey, don't y'all sleep on Nebraska. That's a tough team.
Okay. If you say so.
Anyways, we're going to talk some NKU sports. Men's basketball 2-2 in the new year. 2 wins to open the year against Purdue-Fort Wayne. And a big 18-point win over Green Bay, but now they've suffered back-to-back losses against Youngstown State, Oakland, and they've fallen to, correct me if I'm wrong, I saw this on the Northerner, I think, 3-4 in conference play?
4-3.
4-3, my bad. Both were double-digit losses, though, that they're coming off of. Talk a little bit about that. I know you were at some of the games.
Yeah, it's been a tough couple of games. 72-61 loss to Youngstown. Tough first half where they were down 20 in the first half. They went on 2 separate 4-minute plus droughts of no scoring, so that doesn't help. But they did fight back in the second half. They won that half by 6, but it was just too much to overcome. 2 big things. YSU made 13 threes, which is not something they normally do. And your friend, Gabe Dines. Had 11 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 blocks off the bench. Why are they still having him play off the bench?
I think you'd have to ask Coach that one.
Okay. I didn't know if you had any insight or anything to that.
I won't comment on here about that. But
then the next one was NKU versus Oakland. Not much to say. Probably the worst game NKU's played all season. Second worst scoring performance of the season, only behind Purdue, which somebody in the studio is a big fan of. Oakland was without their best shooter and had to start a redshirt freshman. Still lost.
Wasn't Jack Golke, was it?
Our leading scorer had 11. My mom always says if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. So I'll let you take it away.
Nice. There we go. Busting out the lessons today, back after a bit of a drought. Glad to know we are all still wise.
Time to get back to teaching, you know?
Speaking of wise, be dropping another one at the end of the episode, so
Hey.
stay prepared. Women's basketball, a little bit better. 3-1 in the new year. All 3 wins came in the last 3, so they're on a win streak. Robert Morris, IU Indy, beat them by double digits, and then beat Milwaukee by 3. Talk a little bit about that. That's the big jump that they needed after a bit of a rough start to the season.
Yeah, definitely hitting some stride in the new year. 2 best games of the season, honestly, in the last 2. First one against Robert Morris, a 72-58 win. Everybody who played for NKU scored that game, so that's awesome to see.
Oh, nice.
That diversity in scoring. Blevins with a career-high 9 rebounds that game, and Coach was surprised to hear that. They've been getting on there and practice a lot about those rebounds, so Coach was awfully surprised to hear that she got 9 rebounds, so that was kind of funny. Shot 47% from 3 and 22 free throws, so that's a good, aggressive team. Still, most impressive thing was holding their leading scorer to 2. 1 of 6, Noah Gavon. An excellent scorer. I compare to like a Brianna Stewart type at the mid-major level, but they were able to shut her down.
Can we use that at the draft?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then
Checkmark that.
NKU versus IU Indy, you know, the get-back game for J.C. Jones and Abby Walterman, the former Jaguars, 80-63. Had a 27-point lead at one time. J.C. Jones and Abby Walterman said they had no ill will, but it certainly seemed like they had beef. Abby Walterman had a team high 11 points and a season high 11 points. J.C. Jones had a career high 8 assists, 47% from 3, and they led wire to wire, which is the first time they've done that all season.
Nice.
The only concern now is Macy Blevins did turn an ankle, and it was the same ankle that she missed 5 games with. She said she's fine, from what I've heard, but she also said that during the last injury, and Jeff Hands obviously said, of course that's what Macy says,
Yeah.
but we'll see how long this injury keeps her out, if any.
Yeah. I feel so disconnected from NKU sports. I'm not going to lie to you.
I don't know if you know, but it's on ESPN Plus. You can watch it anytime.
Thanks for letting me know.
Okay.
Don't need to educate me. Come on now. Moving on to some college football. Did you guys know the playoffs are still going on?
They are?
Oh, yeah. Yep, they are. They are quite fun.
Who's playing in those?
Oh, you know. You know who's playing, man. National championship coming up soon is the 20th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a Monday.
We're off of school. The people in school are off of school that day, so it's great.
So believe it or not, I'm actually off school for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So Colton too.
Yep, same here. The lifetime ban from school. Wait.
Oh, whoa. I think we're out of school for different reasons.
Please.
But yeah, there's been some great games so far. There's been some blowouts so far, but it's still college football nonetheless, and we all love that. What's been your favorite game so far?
I'd say the Texas win over Arizona State. Not really the ideal winner that most of us were hoping for, but they did win 39-31 in double overtime. Texas was up 24-8 heading into the fourth quarter, and then Arizona State turned it on. Texas missed the field goal for the win, and I was at Max with a few of the guys, some back there, and it was pretty electric when that happened. Ewers with 322 yards and 3 touchdowns. Cam, is it Scatabo or Scataboo? I can't remember.
Scataboo, I believe.
All right, Scataboo with 30 rushes, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, and just 99 yards receiving to add on to that. So,
And 42-yard pass, touchdown
I
pass.
forgot about that, yeah.
Dude did it all.
So he definitely stuffed the stat sheet, and I really wish they would have won that game, but it was still my favorite.
Could you say that Cam Scataboo played his Scata best?
Hey, you're on to something. Trademark that.
I try,
I
man.
don't think anybody's going to be in a rush, but you can go for it.
Okay. Yeah, mine was the same exact game, so I don't really have much to say. I just wanted to say Scata best, to be honest with you.
That's all the analysis you really need.
Yeah. Hey, can you hit the mic a little bit more with your papers? I'd appreciate that.
That's going to be fun to edit and post.
Colton, what about you?
Well, guys, you took the words right out of my mouth. ASU and Texas was also my favorite game, and I don't think it was really close. That Notre Dame and Penn State game was pretty good, so I think that's probably the only one I would put on the same level as that. But even still, give me ASU and Texas.
Agreeance. This is like the graphic where everyone picks
Yeah, we
whatever.
all pick the same.
Yep. What's been your biggest surprise so far?
Oregon, I guess, losing by 20 to Ohio State. Something I think you were fond of a little bit.
A little bit.
It was 34-0 before halftime. Will Howard with 319 yards and 3 touchdowns, both running backs with 80-plus yards, and Jeremiah Smith with a decent 187 yards receiving. So I thought Oregon would have more fight in that, especially since they won the game earlier. I didn't expect them to win this game, but I expected more fight, and it was not there.
Yeah. Don't know if you guys know this, by the way. Jeremiah Smith's just a freshman, so.
Would you consider that your biggest surprise too, or?
No, actually, my biggest surprise, while that was a surprising game, is actually Texas's offense. Towards the end of that season, we kind of talked about how they were slowing down, not looking the same as they did early on in the year. You know, Quinn Ewers was starting to look like Quinn Ewers. I think we even talked about, too, during the live stream that we thought Texas would lose to Clemson because of the lack of offense that Texas had. Well, scored over 38 a game in their first 2 games. Obviously, they lost this last one because they were playing Ohio State, but scored over 38 in their first 2 games. The run game dominated in the first game, 292 on the ground, coming from over 100 yards by each Jaden Blue and Quintravian Wisner, as both had 2 scores each. You talked about what Quinn Ewers did in that game against Arizona State. Their offense looked great, and that kind of surprised me because I didn't expect them to look that good. Now, the offense did look Texas-like, second half of the year Texas-like against Ohio State, but they were also playing probably the best defense in
It's pretty good defense, yeah.
college football. But what about you, Colton?
My biggest surprise so far is probably the SEC because I thought it means more, but fellas, I got a list here for y'all. So we got Tennessee losing to Ohio State, 42-17. We have Oklahoma dropping to Navy, 21-20. Vanderbilt, good job. They took care of business, got the win, 35-27. Arkansas beat Texas Tech. All right. A&M loses to USC 35-31. Missouri, shout out, got the win against Iowa. Alabama?
Yikes.
You good? I thought like Indiana sucked because they barely beat Michigan, but you guys can't even beat Michigan?
Oh, got him there.
Interesting. It's very interesting logic there for sure, especially considering Indiana only lost to the 2 teams that are currently in the national championship. So I really hate to be that guy, but I mean, facts are facts. So moving on down, South Carolina drops a game to Illinois. LSU beat the crap out of Baylor, fair enough. Texas got a win against Arizona State. Okay, whatever. Georgia, backup QB, sure, still lost to Notre Dame. And then, shout out Lane Kiffin. He stands on business. Lastly, Texas loses to Ohio State 28-14. I don't think it means more. I'm just going to say it. I think it means just as much as it does in the Big 12. Alex, how do we feel about that?
In the last 20 years, they've only not won about 4 national championships. So I think they're still doing pretty good.
Okay. Fair enough.
Where do you have Jalen Milroe going in the draft this year? First overall?
LinkedIn.
Probably.
Usually a big supporter of Alabama because I like dynasties, if I'm being honest with you. But now that Nick Saban's gone, I think the lore of the whole team is gone. There's no excitement, and there's really no precedent for level of greatness that they need to be. They certainly were not great this year.
Amen. Okay, biggest letdown so far in these playoffs?
Penn State, because they didn't choke against my beloved Boise State. Katron Allen with 17 more yards than Genty. That was devastating. James Franklin picks this game to actually show up in a big one. What's up with that? Not a fan. It's really just Boise State not making it further like I thought they would. How about you?
I don't mean to spoil things for you. I don't know if you've caught up with the college football season. Penn State actually lost against Notre Dame. So
That was good.
James Franklin.
I did catch that episode.
Okay,
Very good. I enjoyed it, but Boise State was already
that's true.
out of it, so
I just
not
wanted
as
to let
much
you know.
enjoyment out of that.
Didn't know if you caught the new season.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. My biggest letdown is conference champions. They stink. Boise, mentioned it. They all lost in their first games. Georgia lost. Arizona State lost. Who else am I missing? Oregon got their doors blown off. And is there one I'm missing?
Clemson.
Oh, Clemson. Fake
Even
conference champs.
Yeah, so they were the underseed anyways, but
Yeah. But they lost first game
they
too.
sure
So
did.
yeah, that's my letdown. Colton.
That was kind of one. I would say the fact that Ohio State Notre Dame is the championship is another one. I just wanted a little more, magic, but whatever. And just really any team outside the Big Ten and the SEC just kind of sucked. So yeah.
You gonna be tuning in to the national title game? I hope not. I hope not.
I don't even know, to be honest. Depends upon what else is on.
Right.
Nah,
Monday night, a lot of
Monday
stuff
Night
on.
Raw. He's just gonna be tuned into on Netflix.
Yeah, if you pick wrestling over football, don't ever talk to me again. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it would be basketball if there's anything else I'm watching. So I'm sure they don't have anything scheduled on Monday. So I'll just play some Red Dead 2. That's what I've been doing. I think
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We're missing. Oh yeah, national title preview and predictions. Let's hear you first, Alex.
Well, let's run some numbers. OSU 8th in points per game, 4th in yards per play, 25th in yards per game overall, and Notre Dame pretty good on offense too. Average 37 points per game, which is 3rd. But the Crawling Cards defense, where they average only 14 points allowed, which is 2nd, 298 total yards, which is 7th, and opposing yards, where they're 5th. The unstoppable force versus the immovable object. I know it's a cliche, but this national championship is definitely that. They were my national championship, and I really don't think I'm wavering at all. Give me Ohio State.
It's a good pick.
How about you?
Believe it or not, I do have Ohio State winning.
Okay.
I do think this will actually be a better game because, well, it really depends on what Ohio State offense is going to show up. Are you going to get the offense that, finds every single look that they can on every single play and just picks it out and says, hey, I'm going to go for like 40 on this because I saw that you messed up here a little bit? Or is it going to be the offense like last game where they, sometimes decided to run the ball when it was going good or didn't really try and look Jeremiah Smith's way too much? I know they were probably doubling him a lot, but at the same time, you at least got to give him a look once in a while. You kind of ran some of the numbers. Ohio State, best defense in the nation, holding opponents to just over 12 a game. Notre Dame has a great defense, holding them to just over 14 a game. What I think could be the difference maker is Notre Dame's offense versus Ohio State's offense. Notre Dame's offense is very good at running the ball. They're good at passing the ball, but their dominance is primarily in running the ball. The quarterback is very, very good at it as well. Ohio State, probably better at passing the ball than they are running the ball, but it should be known they are 59th in the nation in rushing yards per game, but they still average 160 rushing yards per game.
That's pretty good.
They also have 2 of the best backs in the nation, and that's just a punch that is really tough to beat. And it's just going to be more of a pick your poison. I mean, I don't think Notre Dame is going to get run over, but I think it's going to be a tough one to pick for them. Colton?
Just realized my mic's been muted this entire time.
Nice.
But, with all the Indiana gear on, I want to stick with the state and go with Notre Dame. But Ohio State's just really good. I think what this game really comes down to, Matt talked about it a little bit. That Notre Dame offense is what's going to be the difference maker. Do they show up? Do they show up early? Which in pretty much every game they haven't. And are they able to keep pace with Ohio State, or can somehow that defense, which is a great defense, will they slow Ohio State's offense down enough to where Notre Dame's can keep up. And then if they are able to do that, keep that a close game, it just comes down to who makes the winning plays, and both teams make winning plays. So it's really hard to go either direction on that one. I'm just going to go with Ohio State, the team that paid more money for their team. So give me the Buckeyes.
I also did, not to call you out. It's not what I like to do on this podcast.
You would never.
Just pulling one of the Post-its down. Boise State has a path to the Natty. Can you guys guess who said that?
Probably
Our
Josh.
team director.
Yeah.
Colton. You said that.
They had a path. So did Clemson. So did Indiana. So did everybody.
All 12.
That
of
is
them.
true.
There was a
That
path.
is indeed true.
Everybody's got a path to the playoff.
They definitely had a 1-12 shot.
Yep.
And that should be the message you go into the new year with. Everyone has a path.
And Matt, Colton mentioned his mic was off, so I think you're going to have to go through when you edit and do like a dub situation, if you don't mind.
no.
And I can't wait to see how that goes.
Okay. Should I say what he was saying or just say something?
Either one. Whatever you think's best.
Maybe Colton says something really controversial while his mic
that's
was
good.
muted. We don't know.
Good.
We don't know. We'll never know the mic was muted.
No,
So yeah, we don't know if he'll be the director next week. We'll let you know. So yeah, moving on from college football, talking a little bit of professional football. Wild card weekend. I don't want to say it was bad, but I also don't want to say that this was one of the better wild card weekends. Last night was a great game between the Commanders and the Bucks.
It was.
We don't know what tonight's Rams-Vikings rematch will hold. Could be a really good one. Don't think it's going to save it.
Right.
But there were some rough games over this wild card weekend. What were your biggest takeaways?
I'm glad you asked.
Actually, I was meaning that for Colton to start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Colton, what's your biggest takeaways?
Yeah, my biggest takeaways is kind of an overarching one. Is that scoring is really hard in the NFL, and that hasn't been the case in recent years. We've had a lot of high scoring affairs, but when you look at this weekend, majority of the games outside the Ravens had quite a few points. Sorry, Alex. But I mean, I just go to thinking about that Eagles-Packers game. I think about really the first half of that Bills-Broncos game. The Bills finally opened it up there in the second half. But I don't know what changed this year, but, I mean, offensive numbers are down across the board, and that was really personified in this weekend of playoff football because everyone's obviously giving their best effort. And I'm curious to see how this game tonight goes because I do think it'll be a good one between two teams very hungry to get that win into the divisional round. And it's going to be interesting to see how all that shakes up. They got a Lions team next week, whoever wins, thanks to the Commanders getting the win there. So, yeah, my biggest takeaway is just, like, we're not seeing those 35, 38, barn burners that we kind of had gotten accustomed to those last couple of years, which has been the case throughout the season, but it really kind of came to light. I noticed it a lot last week.
Yeah. I would say my biggest takeaways are going to be that the Commanders, I think, are going to be not only are they a fun team to watch this year and how they adjust, especially Jaden Daniels being a rookie, staying as composed as he did on the road in a place like Tampa, and putting on a hell of a game for the team, getting them, their first playoff win since 2005? Long time for that. So I think they're going to be a very interesting team to watch now, but then next year too, because you hit that sophomore year of a quarterback where it's like, oh, they get figured out, and then how do they build from that? But I mean, this is a team that, like, you add some of these pieces and they could legitimately be, contenders if you didn't think they were now. Chargers are in a very interesting spot, and Justin Herbert still remains. As much as people want to say Joe, I saw someone say Tua was. Justin Herbert is still the if king. Give him that crown and put him in his throne. And C.J. Stroud looking probably the best he has all year in this last game after having a very rough season, especially a rough end of the season. He looked really good. Okay, moving on now. Oh, Alex, my bad.
Yeah.
What were your takeaways?
I just want to say I'm really proud of my Steelers. They're very good at making sure they don't have a losing record and then wasting away the rest of the season. Started off 10-3, then 5-game losing streak to end the season, which is ideal, really.
Do you guys play in the playoffs?
Supposedly,
got it.
allegedly. Yeah, we had that really embarrassing loss against the Ravens twice. So that was fun. let's run through some numbers. The Ravens had the ball for 20 more minutes, 27 more plays, and almost 200 more yards. That's not even the most staggering stat. It's 299 to 29 in rush yards. Is this college? And my second one, real quick, is also Justin Herbert. 14 of 32, 242 yards, 86 being on one pass, and the only touchdown that he had. 4 interceptions, so 2 games he's played in the playoffs in his career. One, he lost a 27-point lead. The other, he lost by 20. Yeah, I think we need to take a good look at Justin Herbert because something's very wrong.
Wow. Very interesting.
Something wrong with your glasses over there, man?
No, it was just, I was reading this Post-it note, and it's funny, too, because it says that you said this. And correct me if I'm wrong here. Maybe you didn't say that. Maybe we can look back at prior episodes. And I'm a former journalist, so I don't say fake news.
Right.
You would never.
Never, ever. Quote, Pittsburgh is Super Bowl bound, end quote. Alex Perez.
I meant to say puppy bowl bound because they don't have the grown-up dog in them.
Okay.
There was nothing there. We fizzled out like we do every time we have a good start to the season.
Right.
It's either we're fighting to get in the playoffs at the end of the year or we have a really good start to the season and then we're just lose the rest of them. It's a great situation in Pittsburgh.
Can I circle the conversation back to Justin Herbert for a second?
You sure may.
I would like to look over at Josh, who's over here. You can't see him in the video, but yeah, Josh. I thought Harbaugh was a quarterback whisperer. Maybe you need to whisper like a little more. Or?
He needs to be a quarterback yeller. That's
Is he
what he needs to
whispering
be.
sweet nothings?
It doesn't help when your wide receivers are dropping footballs.
Oh.
What about Ladarius McConkey?
So there was 4 interceptions.
McConkey literally hit his hand as he took it for a pick six almost.
Yeah, that
Right
one was
after
bad.
he threw a pick six. But yeah, no. You know what? A bad thing happened. It's not like I went on camera not even a week ago and said that Harbaugh was going to win a Super Bowl. I would never ever buy into that.
Oh,
No.
All LA Super Bowl.
We don't have like video evidence of
there's no
a bet
evidence
that he did or didn't make.
But I do just want to throw this out here also. Thank you, TJ Watt, for not showing up for the last 200 snaps and not getting one stat for 200 snaps. Alex, remember when we said Defensive Player of the Year? That is well.
Dude thinks he's Tony Snell.
Put out Tony Snell numbers. No.
No stats. 200 snaps. How does that happen? No
All right,
pressures?
Crashing out.
There's also a good line around him, but yeah.
Dude had to
It
get
is
the fingers off.
Cody
Of,
Ford was blocking him for 70 of those snaps.
Love that.
Oh, man.
He's Defensive Player of the Year still.
He's not, though.
I know.
Yeah, my wallet doesn't appreciate that either.
well,
Wait,
at least
Josh
you have
bet on something?
At least you have the Rams and Chargers Super Bowl to look.
Rams
I
in
still
charge of the
have
LA
I
Bowl.
still have 2 teams alive for my Super Bowl bets. Thank you very much.
He still has. Okay, well, good for Josh.
we
But
give
this
him
isn't
a
a
beer.
this isn't a betting show. So let's
I'm going back to my notes.
Not yet. We want to thank Josh for joining the show, though. He came in for a special segment.
called Hardball did a hardball
Our
Hardball.
betting chief officer
for all to see.
We don't condone gambling.
ever.
Do
No,
not
no.
gamble. It is a waste of money unless you win.
That's true. That's true. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's all I got to say. But what's your guys' favorite game of the weekend?
I think we've already talked about it. Commanders beating Tampa Bay. Both quarterbacks played excellent football. The first playoff win in 19 years, something the Bengals, I think, know about.
Good one.
Daniels with 268 yards, 2 touchdowns. Baker only had 3 incompletions, 185 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then Mike Evans and McLaurin both went for over 85 yards. If you liked offense, you liked this game, and it was very exciting to watch.
Yeah.
How about you?
It was definitely that game. Bucky Irving. I do not think he has gotten. I think he's gotten a lot more flowers lately. Bucky Irving has had a hell of a rookie year. He went for I don't know exactly how many he had, but I think they had 112 rushing yards as a team. He played a hell of a game. He's a good running back. I think one to keep an eye on. But Bobby Wagner, I think that dude can play till he's 90.
Yeah, for sure.
Clutch play by Bobby Wagner. But, yeah, I mean, we talked about it already. And Jaden Daniels is, if he hasn't already locked in Rookie of the Year, I'd be surprised. He's played hell of a season. Great team. Yeah, they had the ball. Do we know exactly how long the Commanders had the ball for?
I do not.
Because I do remember before the game they talked about, Dan Quinn talked about how they wanted to control the ball for a very long time because that was something Tampa was really good at, was keeping the ball for like 30-plus minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure how long the Commanders had the ball for, but it'd be kind of ironic if that,
They made the most
if their
of the
game
time, I
plan
know that.
actually worked.
Yeah.
We got it in 35 minutes was how long they had the ball. That is quite a large portion of the football game.
Indeed.
That's what we've been looking at every day, huh?
Real, yeah. We've been there with Jalen Milrow. We all got a group chat going on with him.
Colton, was yours the same favorite?
Yeah, I would say if we did this Tuesday, I have a feeling it would have been the Rams and Vikings game.
Oh.
We'll see. Maybe a little presumptuous there. I also like that first drive of the Broncos-Bills game where I thought Bo Nix was about to drop 5 touchdowns on the Bills, and thankfully that didn't happen because I want to see Josh Allen, succeed. But we'll see. We'll see how that Ravens.
Punter had about as many successful passes as Bo Nix did, but we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, we do not have to talk about that at all. But I mean, the argument about it, Bo Nix and Justin Herbert has definitely leveled out after this weekend, I will say.
For sure.
Yeah.
Josh disagrees, but we'll say it certainly has. They're closer. They're closer
It's
than
one
it was.
season.
Okay.
Played
Anywho.
2 games in the playoffs. I think I ran that down a little bit. But anyways,
All right, moving on now. Talk a little bit about the divisional matchups that are going to be going on. Kansas City, Houston, Buffalo, Baltimore. I think that's probably going to be – that's either going to be the best game of the divisionals or it's going to be Detroit, Washington. Those are my guesses. Philadelphia plays either Minnesota or the Rams, whoever wins that one. Which game of those would you be looking forward to most?
ooh, that's tough. Probably Baltimore and Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'd say just like the battle of the people at the top for MVP. I know Lamar hasn't been great in the playoffs, but they have the best, or at least second best roster left in the playoffs, in my opinion. I think Buffalo lacks those weapons, and I think it shows up big here. So if I had to guess, I'd say Baltimore wins this game, but it's going to be close and a fun game no matter what.
Yeah, I agree with Colton?
I would say that probably is also my favorite, just MVP matchup right there. I mean, what a better way to figure out who's who. And then I would add the Eagles and Rams or Vikings. I would probably prefer the Rams in that, but I think the Vikings could put up – actually, never mind. Sam Darnold versus that Eagles defense would be foul. So, like, if it's the Rams, give me the Eagles and the Rams. If not, I like both the NFC matchups. I don't like that team in Kansas City, so I don't like that game. But
Yeah, no, I don't watch that game.
I think there's an outside chance, and tell me if I'm crazy, but I think there's an outside chance that if C.J. Stroud really shows up, I thought Josh was laughing over there, really shows up, and the Chiefs do some cheating, because they have been out of play for, 25 days? It'll be 25 days
Yeah.
by the time they get there. So I think they'll be slow to start. We saw that happen in the college football playoff. Maybe a little too much rest, as Garrett was saying on the podcast last week. So, yeah, I think I wouldn't necessarily rule out the Texans, but it is the Chiefs, so
Yeah.
I should stop having hope, I guess.
I mean, all they have to do is score 30 points. The Chiefs don't know how to do that. So, I mean, it is a lot to ask for against a good Chiefs defense. But
Chiefs don't know how to score, period.
I'm not looking forward to watching either of these offenses in that game, honestly.
That's a good point.
It's going to be like the 1959 Bowl.
The mid-off.
So there's been a lot of talk about
Wait, it's literally the mid-off because they're two mid-offenses. Sorry, Matt. I just caught
That's-
that one. That was
Happens to the best of us. That's why he's our esteemed director, folks.
we think hard over here at Beyond the Score.
We put things together.
Yeah.
Maybe not quickly, but we put them together.
We'll get there sometime. I don't know. Talking a little bit, there's been a little bit of talk about I was gonna make a stupid joke. I'm not gonna make that joke.
Okay.
There's been some talk about seating possibly being changed in the NFL. A lot of people are unhappy because there's been some people hosting games that, if we went based off record, wouldn't be hosting games. Houston. What other ones am I missing? Or is that's the only one in the AFC, right? Oh, Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's really about it. Well, damn. Anyways, no, L.A., the Rams.
That too, yeah.
They're hosting one too. But there's been talks about that, about maybe that's not that good. What do you guys think about that? You think seating should be changed to based off how good you are?
I think my opinion is controversial, but I say yes. I feel like the teams that win their division should be guaranteed playoff spots,
Mm-hmm.
but it should be by record instead of you get a top 4 spot if you win your division, because we've seen divisions that have been horrible. NFC East. But a 14-win team should never have to play an away game in
Yeah.
the playoffs. Like I said, guarantee a spot for each division winner, and then base it all on record.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree with you there. I think a lot of people are like, well, then what's the point of divisions? Listen, man, I don't want to see an NFC South team ever host a playoff game ever again. NFC East was a good one too. I guess you could make the standpoint of, well, it really tests to see how good the away team would really be, even if they're 12-win, 14-win, whatever. Not cool. I don't think that's cool at all. Especially because a lot of these teams that are very good have really, really fun environments.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, not saying this to you, I'm saying this to people who disagree with the whole seating thing. People like to see excitement. I know some people might be surprised by that, but watching excited fans, watching people screaming, watching a 67-year-old dude painted purple and gold with a Viking helmet on, that's tough. That is extremely tough. So yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'm gonna be happy either way because it's playoff football.
Yeah.
But I would not be opposed to it. Colton, what do you think?
I am opposed to it. I'm curious
Boo! We don't care.
what atmosphere you're referring to, because I'm not sure there is an NFL atmosphere other than Los Angeles that you don't have that. And even at Los Angeles, you still have fans that are very entertaining and very cheering. Like, you have a sold out stadium for a playoff game. I don't think there's really a stadium that doesn't happen, regardless of whether it's a team that has 15 wins or a team that has 8 wins. So I don't really get. Do you have an example of that happening?
Okay, so would you rather watch a game at the Rams Stadium? Not in person, because I'd obviously pick the Rams Stadium too. But would you rather watch a game being played at SoFi, where the fans are? I mean, you've seen how crowds show out. Like when San Fran is playing the Rams, and I know they're closer, it's usually San Francisco home game. I mean, it's basically a home game. You go to Minnesota, you're going to get Rams fans there. That place is going to be packed with Vikings fans. And then you get the whole skull chant going on. You get the horn blown before the game.
I get that,
that's an example.
But I feel like it's an example that's really only a case in the case of Los Angeles. Like, I feel like all other 30 teams, you're going to have that home atmosphere. If you go, maybe Las Vegas is in there too since they're newly moved, but I feel like they still have a pretty good fan base there at Allegiant Stadium. I don't think that's necessarily the issue, and I don't really know what the issue is. I get that you want the best teams to have that home field advantage, but I also just feel like the best teams are going to win regardless. The better team will. I think the Rams would have just as much of a chance to win in Minnesota as they do in Los Angeles, probably because it's mostly going to be Minnesota fans. But I get that idea, but I worry about us the NFL going down the same path as the NBA. Divisions mean nothing in the NBA. They used to have divisional winner would also get that first 4 seeding or whatever, at least get a higher seeding, home court advantage, what have you. And then they took it away from that. And then they just kind of devolved into divisions don't mean anything. Conferences don't mean anything. So why do we have them? And I just worry, and I don't really know if there's a real blueprint of how that happened, but I just worry about it going down that same path, because rivalries used to be a big thing in the NBA, and that is the main reason why there is not as much watching, because they're more focused on player advertising than that of team advertising. That's just because the Celtics and Lakers, Alex, I know you despise the Celtics to the end of time, and I get that. But to the average fan, does that rivalry really mean anything anymore? And I know I'm spieling on to the NBA, but that's just the path that I worry about the NFL going down by doing this. And, yeah, that's why I am opposed to it.
I think that's a good point, and I do get what you're saying. But then it's like you talked about how the NBA is taking these things away where, like, if you win your division, it really doesn't matter a whole lot. You don't get these guaranteed things. With the NFL, though, the whole proposal of you still get a locked-in playoff spot, it then adds that variation of, like right now, like you could win your division in week, I don't know, let's say you win in a week 10 or something like that because everyone else sucks. Well, you can suck the rest of the season and you're still going to get guaranteed a home game because you won your division. Well, if you get a locked-in playoff spot by winning the division, you still have to like play pretty hard the rest of the season to get a home game. Like all you're doing is locking in a playoff spot. So it's like you're still getting rewarded, but then I don't know, I feel like it kind of adds that umph of like you want to go play in front of your fans. Where like now, not the fans, like not the teams like tank after they win a division, but like you don't feel that added pressure of like I should probably play harder because I want to, you know, host a home game or something like that. Like you're locked in 4 seed, like by then.
Right. Yeah.
I get your point though.
I feel like in most cases, though, that 4 seed is usually a toss-up. Like the Falcons and Buccaneers came down to the Week 17. The NFC North came down to 18 now. Just the final week. Like the only one I can really think of a team that really locked it down early, the Chiefs. Houston, because the AFC South sucks. But,
yeah.
I mean, you'll have that. But I feel like more times than not, the best 3 teams or best 2 teams in the conference at least get that home field advantage, and I personally don't see a problem with it, but I get why maybe some people would disagree with that.
It's a good point.
I agree.
It's a good point. Now we'll fist fight.
Yeah, we'll get Josh to record us fist fighting after the show.
The winner of the fight, I don't know, wins the argument. I guess you really don't.
Winner
get
of the fight. That's what the NFL decides.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We hype it up. It'll be on Netflix, actually. It's actually going to be a big old Netflix.
Yeah, we're going to get huge.
Nobody will be able to
paydays.
see because
So
there'll be
make
too
sure
many
your
people.
internet's the
Netflix
best
won't
it
pay
possibly can be, but
Yeah, even if it is,
Yeah.
it's still going to crash.
Godspeed.
Moving on now to the NBA. I don't have hardly anything to say about the NBA because it sucks. And I hate basketball, and I hate the NBA, and I hate...
Whoa. Basketball, let's chill.
Okay, chill. Basketball's
College
fun. Basketball's cool.
still
Basketball's cool.
exists. I
hate
get
the NBA.
hatred towards the NBA, though. I understand that.
For no specific reason. Just don't like the NBA. So, Alex?
So for me, first, I want to say thoughts and prayers to all those dealing with the wildfires out in LA. But the last 2 scheduled games for the Lakers have been postponed, but the one tonight against the Spurs will go on. So I'm really excited to watch that. Since the last time we did a podcast, the Lakers are 7-4, not great, but still good. But they are 6th in the West right now. Next 10 games include matchups with the Spurs, the Heat, the Nets, the Wizards twice, 76ers, and the Hornets. So I'm feeling optimistic we will definitely be climbing the standings by the end of the month. Colton, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm headed to a Pacers game tomorrow against the best team in the league right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, at least the best team record-wise. So very cheap tickets. I was surprised. I looked at it a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this much for a Cavs game? Yeah, I'd love to see the Cavs in action and go see the Pacers as well. I got some free time. So probably not the best omen. They just beat the Cavs yesterday or the day before yesterday. So that probably, I don't think the Cavs lose to teams twice much, but hey, maybe me wearing this hat and me being there will be enough for them.
That'll change it.
They'll put me out there. I'll replace Tyrese. I got
Having out the hoop dream.
Yeah, that's true. We saw how he was shooting before.
Yeah, y'all know. But yeah, I'm feeling really good. This team is clicking. This team is getting healthy. Thomas Bryant was a great pickup off the waiver after we lost James Wiseman. What?
Lakers legend.
Lakers legend,
you remember when
of
he called for the
course.
ball on LeBron's record-breaking shot?
Hey, because he's like that. But
He's that dude.
Got the dog
I
in
also
him.
want to give a shout out to Andrew Nemhard because he has analytics. Like if you look at the advanced stats for him, I mean, he's a darling. He is up there like with Jokic and Curry in some categories, which is crazy. I know it's crazy, but you just look into it. He is doing absolutely crazy. This team is better with him on the floor, and Halliburton was having some back issues earlier in the season, and was kind of one game he'd have 30, next game he'd have 10. So Seeing him just get more consistent, seems like he's getting used to playing with the pain, or at least they figured something out with that. And just seeing this team clicking, playing back at the pace that they were. They were not playing at that breakneck pace that they did last season. You guys
Name
are falling
dropping.
asleep over there. Huh?
Name dropping,
Oh, I
pace,
did drop the
playing at a
name
pace.
Yeah.
Dude,
No.
nice.
But they had slowed it down, but they are back to playing at a very fast pace, and it's very beautiful to see. A lot more fun to watch this team as they start to figure it out. And, hey, 5th in the East. Like you said, they play in the East, so they could be the 3rd seed by the time the season's over. Just kidding. I'm way drinking the Kool-Aid there. Very happy. Good time to be a Pacers fan.
So,
a lot of Pacers fans. out
Matt,
there,
you
I'm
don't
sure.
want to talk about your
Yeah, I
favorite
was going
team?
to say, you don't
Not
want
much going on.
Are they in the playoff seating right now?
I'd
or-
probably. There's a cup, right? I could fart in that cup, and there'd be more going on in that cup than anything with the Warriors right now.
Okay.
No, we suck.
But Buddy Hield.
He sucks now. The,
Wow,
the
who could've seen that
subscription
coming?
expired.
Okay.
Don't the shit ass team.
Well, I could talk more about the Pacers if you want.
No. Yeah. So who's your guys' winners of January so far in the NBA? I feel like there's one answer.
Yeah, it's the
maybe.
Cavs.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you guys don't have the same answer as me.
What's your answer? If you say the Pacers, dude, I'm gonna punch through the screen in here, and it's still
No, it's
gonna
another
somehow hit
team.
you.
It is a team that starts with the letter P.
Pistons.
The Pistons.
Hey, there
JB
you
Bickerstaff
go.
is my
Respect that.
winner because making that team into a winning organization, solid defensively. Cade Cunningham actually has people he can pass to. They will get the ball and they will shoot it and it will go through the hoop. That's super weird how that works. Like how that
Tobias
makes
Harris
Cade
effect.
Cunningham an all-star.
What'd you say?
Tobias Harris effect.
The Tobias Harris effect, I guess. But no, like it's really weird to see them like 8th in the East right now, and with that JB Bickerstaff defense that he's known for, that team is low key kind of scary in that AFC. Not scary in like a serious sense, but like any given night, this team can really, win. So it's weird. It's just so weird to see, and not good because actually I'm supposed to hate that team, but I wasn't around for the old Malice and the Palace, but I still that city. Ugh.
Yeah. I do also want to bring up wild point here.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit being good at basketball in the same year that Kansas City is being accused vaguely by fans of sacrificing people to be good at football.
Correlation?
Might be something to
Causation.
look into.
Yeah.
You're a journalist.
Investigative, more or less. So, yeah.
Mhm.
I'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, figure that out for me.
Be sure to let us know.
Yep.
So, Cavs for you two, you said?
Yeah, beat the Mavs and the Thunder. They lost to one team so far in January. We'll see how they do in a couple days against them. It scored over 115 and all but their one loss.
Mm-hmm. The first time they were below 100 all season
And
long.
Ended that Thunder 15-game win streak.
Pacers are a defensive
It was a great game.
masterclass of a team.
What's Shea's caption going to be after that?
I really wish I saw. He probably didn't post the picture. Let's be honest.
Cavs broke the streak. Future's looking bleak.
Hey,
Oh,
It was a wrap
hey.
That's a
on the
bar.
side.
Matt was a rapper back in his day.
I was, yeah, back in my day. SoundCloud rapper.
You should come back to it. I can see you and Jack Harlow like really having similar careers.
I mean, you all see that windbreaker? He's tough.
Yeah. I'm early white guy of the year candidate right now. Believe it or not. I'm not going to win it. But what's you guys' losers so
Josh
far?
will still bet on you. Don't worry.
Hey, all I know is his rap skills aren't as good as Leangelo's.
That's true.
Oh. Listen, here's the thing.
That Jello goes.
Me and Alex were just talking about that the other day. I think that song stinks.
You were like the only person. That thing is taking over.
I know I'm the only person, and it's,
Nope, I'm the second person.
hey, let's go.
The chorus is tough, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's
so
like,
I'll give it the choruses. I get why they're addicted to it, but no.
you could fool me, it's just some like random dude on the street rapping, and I'd be like, yeah, it sounds just like
You
him.
could tell me I was AI, and that's what I thought at first, and then I realized, oh, he's actually going to Rolling Loud for this song.
He also got signed today.
Def Jam Records,
Yeah.
13 million.
I mean, they also signed Logic, so.
Oh, damn.
Okay, Logic saved people's lives.
All right, that song was good. My fault.
So, losers of the month. Matt, you got anything, or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
How did I become part of the show?
You're the one yapping over here.
My loser for the month is the Kings. Firing Coach of the Year
Yeah.
Mike Brown after he led practice, talked to media, and was on the way to the team playing. That is shameful. The Kings are a joke. And it's a joke they're not blaming Domantas Sabonis or DeMar DeRozan, who are just mucking up that offense.
Alex,
What?
they are 6-1 since they fired Mike Brown.
Oh, damn.
I'm just saying they're a loser for
Oh.
firing Mike Brown in that way.
Do we dare challenge Alex's ball knowledge?
I was just saying because they
no,
fired him
he's
that
not
way.
wrong. The Kings organization
Yeah.
is absolutely
No, that's-
a bum and a joke and a loser. Like that is, there's no question because they did not answer any questions whatsoever. Left it up to the players to answer all the questions, and did what you said about Mike Brown. Kings organization losers, but Doug Christie, I believe, is the guy who came in as the interim head coach. He's doing a lot of the things that players were like, or not players, but fans were like asking to do. Like, going back to that, 3-point shooting, very quick offense, and team looks good. Team looks great. And playing Keon Ellis. I don't understand why Mike Brown, what happened between those two. Keon Ellis was getting like bench warmer minutes, and he's like one of the best defenders in the NBA. And the fact that he, like, on a team that needs defense, why that guy wasn't playing is beyond me. Sorry to cut you off, though.
It's all good. That's pretty much what I had. I just don't like the way they fired him.
Possibly
They
losers
are,
of the
they are
decade.
cooking now, yeah.
Losers of the decade.
Nah, loser of the
Decades.
decade is my loser. Is still the damn Wizards. Good lord, I don't even have to explain it. It's just the Wizards.
But hey, here's
Hey.
something interesting. The Wizards have won a winner of the month, or a winner on this podcast, and the Michael Jordan led Bulls have not. So
That's true.
Jordan Poole led Wizards won something on this podcast, won the winner of the podcast before Michael Jordan's led Bulls. That's all I'm saying.
That's what we have you around for. Those stats, they're big time.
That's big time.
That's the most ESPN stat I've ever seen. Are they going to pick us up or something? Like, y'all didn't tell me?
Yeah, I mean, if Def James is picking up LeAngelo Ball, there's no way they can't pick us up.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell, man, honestly. All right, let's talk some men's college hoops.
So you're not going to say you're a loser? Did you say it?
Who do you think
I'm
my
not,
loser is?
I'm not
man?
going to try
Who
to
do you
tell
think
you
my
how
loser
to
is?
run the show.
Who do you think my loser is? Take a guess.
Oh, the Warriors, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
my
been
face
doing a
went
lot
bald.
of that recently. Anyways, okay,
Yeah, they've
moving on.
been 6 times actually in the last 10. So
That's good.
pull my stats, man. Men's college basketball game of the week. What do you guys got? Oh wait, no. How's your team doing?
I was about to say, I was pretty excited to talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
UK 13-3 and ranked 6th. I think they moved to 8th today. But 2 top 10 wins in the last 3 games.
Been a little mucky actually recently.
Yeah, Georgia loss didn't happen. They also beat a ranked team after us too, so doesn't look as bad.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it was a 20-point loss. Haven't lost to a ranked team yet. We've lost to some bad teams, but not ranked ones. 3 of the next
Georgia's
4.
ranked now.
That's a good point.
That's
a
true.
good point. So 2. 3 of the next 4 are top 10 matchups, including on the road versus Tennessee, who was number 1. They're not after they got blown up by Florida, but still a big game.
Mm-hmm.
So the big gauntlet's coming up. We'll see what they're made of.
Do you have a game of the week that potentially correlates with UK?
You know it. UK Alabama on Saturday.
Yeah.
Gonna be big time. I'm not one to give out betting advice, but if
Josh is.
Josh is listening.
Take the over.
yeah, if it's anything below 200, take the over. There will be no defense played in this game, but I'm still really excited to see it. Alabama may not show up on offense. They tend to do that sometimes, but
Me out of retirement.
if they both show up, it's going to look like an all-star game.
Take his advice.
So, Matt, what about you?
I mean, you talked about it. They were. I watched that Florida game the other day. Quite a
Best
fun
of the
game.
season so far, I think.
Yeah, it was a very good game. Did not watch the Georgia game. Watched some of the Mississippi
Lucky
State
you.
game. Yeah, I know. I did not watch the Georgia game, and I looked at the highlights and I looked at the stats. I said, "Damn, Georgia shot 435 free throws. That's wild." And we both shot 13% from the field. That's crazy.
They shot just as many free throws the next game, but I digress.
Yeah, investigate that one.
I am.
My game of the week, though, either UK Bama. One I wanted to also highlight because any SEC game for the rest of the year has a pretty damn good chance of being game of the week.
Yeah.
Kansas, Iowa State. Could be a good matchup to watch. I don't think Kansas is going to play well at all. But, hey, another one, possible sleeper, Auburn, Mississippi State, because Janai Broom, I believe, is out indefinitely.
Yeah.
So that could be an interesting one. Maybe not that interesting, but it could be interesting.
Congratulations, Cooper Flag, on your Player of the Year. So, Colton, what about you?
Well, I alluded to it earlier. We got a quality win over a Nebraska team I think is a tournament team. I don't know. I know you guys don't dabble in the realms of the Big Ten, but, I mean, this team has actually looked really good at most of the year. Kind of struggling in Big Ten play as well. But
Struggled a little bit against NKU, too. Don't know if you saw that one.
Nebraska?
No, you guys.
Oh, I was talking about Nebraska, but yeah, we struggled. I think our biggest struggle is that you injured our 7-footer, but actually, if you ask me, the team's better because of it, because now we are learning how to play without just throwing the ball in the paint and expecting to make a 3 off of that, and it's beautiful. Now, will we make like 23s? I think we made again. No, no, but I think if we can get hot in March, we can absolutely find ourselves in the Final Four again. Will that happen? Absolutely not. I'm not dying want to go there, but it was the most fun, probably the most fun I've ever had watching a Purdue game. Lobs were being thrown. It was like every time CJ Cox had a great game, almost 20 points, just pulling up from all over the place. And but for my game of the week, I always want to say Iowa State and Kansas. Matt went ahead and took that one. You got your hand up.
I was going to ask a question real quick. You said CJ Cox was pulling up from all over the place?
I did.
And so I'm assuming you meant he was hitting a lot of shots.
Yes, like mid-range, 3-point.
Got it.
All over, right at the rim. He was just all over the place.
So would you say, potentially, maybe this might just be a cool little like broadcaster thing, would you say that CJ Cox was wet?
It's a family-friendly show here.
So anyways, my game of the week, outside of that, do not sleep on that Tennessee-Vandy game on Saturday. Maybe I just have flashbacks from the good old college football season we just witnessed. I think this Tennessee team is kind of dead in the water. I guess we just own them, so I just already assume that. But this Vandy team is better than maybe some give them credit for. And I think they'll keep that game close. Tennessee is traveling on the road, the far drive over to Nashville from Knoxville. But regardless, I think that game will be better than people make it out to be. And I think Vandy maybe once again shocks the world.
Ooh.
Yeah, Vandy's like 13-3 right now. They are not playing around.
Yeah, they're balling.
Yeah, if Tennessee has a slow start, I mean, they do that more times than not. So, hello, Josh's hand.
And they just bench Chaz Laynier, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Can you guys answer a quick question for me? Because I was looking at this. All right,
No.
Is there a real possibility of 13 SEC teams making the tournament this year?
Well, seeing as 6 are in the top 10, I'd say there's a good chance, yeah.
13 though?
Yeah.
I feel like there will be a little bit of cannibalism. That number maybe goes down to 11, but regardless, yeah, I'll say SEC is currently the best, deepest. Maybe not the best, but the deepest conference.
Yeah, I would say 10
in
minimum.
college basketball right now.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Enough college basketball talk. Let's get into the real thing that everyone wants to see right now.
The moment you all have been waiting for.
What's it called, Colton?
It is called the post-game presser. Come on now.
Nice. All right. You want to start?
I can start.
First one back?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So here we have Lakers versus Mavs.
1 second.
That's
That's me,
Matt,
actually.
yeah.
That's not. Oh, hey, hey.
There it is.
There we are.
Beautiful.
What are we watching here?
Beautiful stuff.
It's spoiler alert. Max Christie getting an
There we
offensive
go.
rebound, the most impressive thing I've ever seen.
Nice in here. There we go.
There it is.
Hey.
But yeah, Max Christie gets this rebound. That's big time. And then he throws it to LeBron James,
Oh, I should have
at
known,
40
man.
years old, who switches hands in air and then dunks on Derek Lively.
Alex, you think you'll be doing that at 40?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I'm doing it so well now. I
Jackson
think,
Hayes and
I think I have I think I have that in my bag of 42. Yeah, LeBron James is again 40, still the king, still defying science. Honestly, at this point.
Do a little something on the grill.
Yeah. There we go.
Little taco.
Good
What
one.
about you? What's yours?
How did I celebrate his birthday?
Oh, well, yeah, that too. That's
Same
important.
thing. Same thing. Threw something on the grill. Got the brown henny out, and then just hung out.
Colton, how about you? How'd you celebrate the King's birthday?
I lived.
Hey,
Mm,
that's what he tells us to do.
that's deep, man. One hit home.
All right, you ready, Matt?
I am, yeah. This is probably
Oh, we went a little too far.
a little too far there.
All right, we'll go back to
Field
start.
view of Captain Jack, former roommate with Quinn
Look,
Ewers.
Josh. Watch it with us.
Yeah, enjoy. Oh, strip sack. I'll be taking that to the house.
Is that the guy you? Is that? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Landlord called. Rent was due. He took it to the house.
Mm-hmm.
I was jumping and screaming like a little kid when that was going on.
Of course.
It was a little reminiscent, being a Bengals fan, of the Sam Hubbard return. The screaming and jumping, that
Yeah.
is, to what I was doing then. But what a game. What a highlight.
I would agree.
Loud boom
Y'all,
back there.
y'all okay?
Got the Costco guys back there.
Sorry, sneezing over.
One big boom.
Josh was sneezing over that BS. He says.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
So, got any final words? You want me to go first?
Yeah, if you got anything that you were wanting to say.
Didn't really prepare much. Not much to say right now. It's early in the semester. Just want to say, hope all NKU students had a good first week.
Okay. Colton, did you happen to have anything?
I'm not an NKU student.
So,
It's good.
what about you?
It's a
What
good
you got?
That's all I wanted to say.
So we just recently turned the year,
Yeah.
right? Recently, it's the 13th currently, but 13 days ago we started a new year.
That's right.
12 technically. A lot of people have resolutions, goals they want to meet, people they want to meet, things they want to do, excitement they want to feel during this year of 2025 of our Lord. But one thing you should remember, resolution or not, you must become a better person out of this year than you were at the beginning of it. Whether that means you smile more, whether that means you frown less, whether that means you compliment someone. Hey, Alex, nice shirt. Hey, Colton, nice hat. Whether that means you let someone merge in front of you. Whatever that is, you must look back at yourself at the end of this year and say, I don't even recognize that person. That's my words.
I know it's a joke because Buckeyes don't let people merge, and also Alonzo G.
So that'll do it for this episode, the first episode back for Beyond the Score. Starting off strong. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BT_ then the word score, and YouTube at Beyond the Score 123. Big thanks to NKU Media Services for letting us use the studio. Couldn't do it without you. So for myself, Matthew Supinger, and Director Colton Smith, go check out the North Bench Warmers podcast. Thanks for watching, and we will see you all in the next one. Be smooth.